Today I'm going to be taking a look at the GPD Win Max handheld gaming PC. The Max is technically the third in a product line of gaming laptops made by GPD. Now I had the original GPD Win, and it was pretty good for what it was. It was an emulation beast, but it kind of struggled when it came to most AAA titles from that time period. I chose to skip out on the GPD Win 2, because although it was a tremendous leap forward from the original GPD Win, I felt like it wasn't that much of a leap to make me want to buy one. But after looking at the specs for the Max and seeing that it's on par with some low-end gaming laptops that are on the market, I just had to check it out. The Max is sporting an Intel Core i5-1035G7 processor. It's got an 8-inch IPS display, 16GB of DDR4 RAM, and an expandable M.2 512GB solid-state hard drive. It's loaded with Windows 10 Home Edition and should give you between 10 and 14 hours of battery life, depending on how resource heavy the game you're playing is. The keyboard is a decent size and fully functional. You shouldn't have any problems typing with this thing or using WASD as inputs. The choice to move the trackpad to the top of the layout is a bit strange initially, but I'm thankful that they did it because it gives you more space and they could put a larger keyboard here. Over on the top left-hand side, you have the left analog stick, a directional pad, as well as a start, select, and menu button. Over on the right-hand side, you have the right analog stick, the power button, as well as a X, Y, A, and B button. Both analog sticks are clickable, and the directional pad and buttons are clicky as well. They feel more like a Nintendo Switch Joy-Con would, or how the PS Vita feels. They feel well built and not squishy and easy to break. Over on the back side, you have a 60-watt USB Type-C port that's capable of charging the unit in about 2 hours. You have a Thunderbolt 3 port that you can use to connect to an external GPU to give this thing a little extra boost, or a 4K display. It has 2 USB Type 3 ports, as well as HDMI output. You also have 4 shoulder buttons, along with the vents keeping this thing nice and cool during gameplay. Over on the bottom front, you have the headphone jack, and over on the side, it has an Ethernet port as well as a micro SD card slot. Now, I'd be lying if I said this thing was as comfortable to hold as a legit handheld like the Nintendo Switch or something along those lines. It's a little on the heavy side and kinda clunky, as well as sometimes just feeling plain awkward in your hands. But considering that it's a PC handheld hybrid, it's not so bad. I play mostly shooters when I play on PC anyway, so the fact that I can use both analog sticks and triggers comfortably is pretty much all that matters to me. But I totally can't see myself using this thing to play a fighting game for extended periods. But enough of all that, I loaded this thing up with a handful of games I assumed it would run pretty well. Let's see how well it actually ran those games.
Shit! Fuck!
This could cause some damage, but it needs gas pumping to it first.
stop smoking.
Look sharp! Covenant dropship on approach! I could use some help over here!
So the GPD Win Max, honestly guys, I love this thing. I have to say, in terms of handheld gaming PCs, this is a huge step in the right direction. The only problem that I have with something like this is that it's still geared towards a very niche market. I got mine through the crowdfunding campaign, so I paid a little bit over $800 for it. But the retail price for this thing can go upwards of $1,000 from what I've seen. I have legit actual gaming laptops that are along the same lines in terms of specs that I only paid about $500 to $600 for. So it's kind of hard to justify a purchase such as this unless you're a tech nut or a game head like myself. Of course, none of these things take away from the fact that the GPD Win Max is an awesome handheld / gaming PC. It's definitely more than a novelty, and I can actually see myself using this thing on a regular basis. But I just don't think that we're at a point where something like this is feasible for the entire gaming market. But nonetheless, it's a huge step in the right direction. If you guys are interested in the GPD Win Max, of course, I will put links in the description below as always. And be sure to check out my next video where I dive deep into the GPD Win Max emulation capabilities. Hope you guys enjoyed. Until next time, this is Ness, signing out.